So the uprights don't have to be necessarily square to the wall. You're not going to see these. I'm going to screw them to the bottom, screw them to the front, and I'll put buttons on the wall, and that's what's going to put the strength into it. So I'll put the TV back on again and put an upright each side of the TV. I don't think it's going to be much point using them as storage there, but it's going to be so hard to get there. Them connectors there to turn the water off and on is a bit awkward. So what I'll probably do with them, when I join onto them, I might replace them with just straight connectors. I don't fancy trying to get in there to get the water off and on. If this lid opened up, then push you could, but I want to have it handy. So see what happens. That's another job. I got the programming sorted out. You would not guess how you do it. To get this to program, you push the setup button, which I was doing. You push the up button, which I was doing. You then push the remote control set, which I did try but didn't do much good. And but you have to hold it in. You push the remote control set and hold it in. Then a red figure comes up, and then you push and hold the setup button for a couple of seconds, and then she's programmed. You're not going to guess all that. The remote control set to set your remote control. But I've run into another problem now. It's unbelievable. You would never think there's so many things. You see, I tell you, I've lost the remote control. I had it in my hand a month ago. I know there's no way I'm going to keep us controlling it. She's probably lying on it. She is probably lying on it. But I ran into another problem now. As you can see, the cabinet's not much higher than the TV. I didn't really pay much heat. I kept these bits aside. Because it's holding the radiator, I've made this really strong. So all this here is not for the TV. TV doesn't need all this. This is to hold the radiator. The front so it's all real well screwed together. And it's not much higher than the TV itself, the thing. But see, I didn't know the full height. But you know what? It doesn't go that high. I might have to cut an inch off the whole back of this, you see. But, or I could hire the TV up on its stand. That'll be the easiest way. But I want to keep the TV as low as possible. I'd be handy hiring the TV in the stand, you know. But this has gone up now, like. But when it's up the full way, it's not as high as that back board. So that's her up the full way there now. It doesn't go up any higher than that. So as you can see, I'm going to cut this lower here. But it's tight fit that, like. By the time you cut that lower and the TV's down, I wonder, does it make a difference? It probably would make a difference to the shape of the TV, you know. Because although it holds up to a certain size of TV, so it probably wouldn't matter what I do. I'm going to cut that so the cabinet's more or less touching the top of that TV. But this bracket here, I think, is supposed to hit the wood. It's not going, so if I put the lid on, I'm going to put a wee batten of wood on the lid. You wouldn't think it's so complicated, would you? Oh, you think? I could have bought a bed with TV in for £3,000. It's a 32-inch TV. You wouldn't want a 32-inch TV. So I'm going to rethink this here now. I haven't got the front on yet. I could easily cut off another 2 inches. I've put this together and taken it apart so many times, and she's missing. I have a further forward now she has to do, so she easily misses that water pipe. See the water pipe at the bottom. So if for any reason she goes at an angle somehow, she's got a good centimetre from the water pipe. I channeled this out here now. I'm going to extend that, and I'm putting a 13 amp socket on the end of this board. I might even put 2 sockets at the end of the board, and I do know how to put a socket in there for the TV, and then I'll run the electrical wire then behind the TV, and then I'll come up this wall here and I'll put another socket in that wall. So I might just sort of dry fit this tonight and don't bother making it permanent until I get the wiring done. It'll be in the way of the wiring. But going behind that TV there now, like, it's going to be tight. See, it doesn't tell you that in the instruction. Plus everybody's got different TVs. If I get a spirit level now, it's more or less going to be so I could probably cut off 2 inches that day. Like, I might just go and cut off 1 inch. I don't want the TV touching the top all the time. You need a wee bit of space between the TV. But definitely you couldn't put a much bigger TV than that on it. I think that's a 50-inch TV there. So it's not going to hold any bigger than 50-inch. That mechanism. It'll take it in weight, not take it in size. If it would extend another 2 inches, problem solved. I'm leaving the control at the top, so if I lose the remote control, I can lift the lid up, just push the button, get my TV going. I'll probably wire that up to a smart plug. I don't want that on 24 hours a day. So I'll wire that up to a smart plug. So I'll say, Alexa, turn on TV. And then the power will go onto the TV and then go onto the motorised lift. And then I'll use my remote controls in the bed. So, we better rejigging here. I'm going to see if I can cut that. The circular saw might cut that day, you know. Don't know if it will or not. I can't screw it all that apart now. Too well together. I might end up getting an angle grinder, cutting away an angle grinder. I'll cut as far as I can with the saw, and the saw misses, that'll have to be lowered down a wee bit. So I'll probably go by the height of them brackets there. I might get the same height as them brackets. I say all them brackets there, that's to strengthen it up for the water radiator, the oil heating. Hopefully that the brackets that hold the radiator on, it might come close to them, take the weight. So complicated. I'll spend the day at that. But see, you can't pay anybody to do a job like that for you. Something you have to do yourself. But there's some job and it's finished, like. Alright, this is not meant for my size of a TV. If I cut that down 4 centimeters, the top will be virtually touching the top of that television there. The top of the tabletop. If I take that off 4 centimeters, she's just covering the bevel of that. So you'll see the screen, but you won't see the brand name. Now I have 2 choices. That's my living room TV. I had to buy an old TV for the living room, or go and buy an old TV for here. I'd need to be less high than that. So I must just look to see what kind of TVs are available, less high. But the only way of getting less height is with a smaller screen. I don't want a smaller screen. Maybe that's why they always come with 32-inch TVs when you buy them in the shops instead of 50-inch. I've been happier cutting it down to 2 centimeters and leaving it 2 centimeters above this. So you don't know, the TV can start tilting or something, you don't know. By the time the radio starts swelling up wood and stuff and things start moving, you take a wee bit of tolerance. I thought then maybe I could have the lid so the lid hinged. And I might still do that. If the lid comes down, you find the lid goes on flat, but if I cut an inch, like that's what I'll do, you know. I'll just do that. I'll cut this down about 2 inches. Screw it onto the top. When the top lifts up, that'll lift up as well. The only thing is, what if it catches? I won't know until I try it. Unless I do a dummy piece of wood. Try it with a dummy piece of wood first. You wouldn't think so complicated, would you, like? I haven't even got the radio or the electrics yet. It's just making a cabinet. The rain's pushing down out there, which doesn't help. Pushing down. So she wants fed now anyway. I'll feed her. I'll think about that. But I'm really going with the idea now of cutting this down. And then put the radio shelf slightly lower. So I need to do a wee demo. I'll make a wee demo of the lid lifting if it works. With an age on it. So here's my idea now. I've put a cavity in between the TV and where the oil reader is going to go. Whenever I get the wooden floor on and I get the skirting board on, I'm going to put a couple of air vents on the bottom just above the skirting board. So any heat wants to rise, any heat that wants to rise will be able to escape. Big problem I'm having, big problem. Because I put this on here for the projector behind, that is not lining up with the lid. So that's a big problem there on its own right. The TV's too big for the stand. That's a 55-inch TV. I thought it was 50. It's a 55-inch TV. It's the one I had in my living room. I was going to buy a 50-inch, but I like a 55-inch now that it's in there. When I first put it in, it looked bigger down here. And I built all around this 55-inch, except the stand's not going high enough. So I've got double layer here now. I'll be cutting this layer out here. 3 inches down. Cut that out 3 inches down. I'm going to get this one then, cut that down about 3 inches. But this is going to be glued on to the lid like a piano. You know where a piano's shaped? But I was watching as it goes up, and that's still going to catch it as it goes up. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to put a slanted bit of wood on the lid so that the curved bit of wood hits that. A bit like a wedge, a wooden wedge. I'm going to put a wooden wedge. So we say the lid is 3 inches deep. I'd have to start off 3 inches deep here and go down to practically nothing here. So that lifts the lid by the middle. Other than that, that's going to catch on the lip. So that's what I'm thinking. I won't know for definite if it's going to work. The hinges are another problem. I've the electric turned off again now. I'm thinking I just might use the like of these hinges here. Because these are sitting far forward, you see that bracket's pushing back. That allows the lid to go right back. The lid will be on top of this. So that'll be on top of that there, and that'll allow it to go back, and that should better chance that's going to work with. By right, this wood shouldn't be here, that should be further forward. Unbelievable the amount of engineering in us here, I'll tell you. I've only that up with temporary with a couple of these screws when I'm getting things leveled out. So my next thing now is to practice this lid idea. I'm going to cut the lid. The lid will have to be exact size of that. Now another wee problem is going to be as well, that wood's been lying a couple of months. It's been lying about 4 or 5 months. You see the slight warp to it. When the heat goes on, it might warp more. I could put battens along the floor, but then that's going to stop air getting up. And saying that, if I put on the air vents above the skirting board, so I will put a batten along the floor here, behind that, and the batten just sits straighter, and then the air vents will be above the batten. I'm only guessing this as I go along, like, nobody else has done this. When I'm finished, if it doesn't work, I take the radiator off two screws, like, so I'll make sure I've got isolating valves at each side of it to allow me to take it off without draining the whole system. I can put insulating foam in there and put it back up again. Step at a time, step at a time. But even that wee hinge there now risks the chance of catching that blind. And even them boards aren't completely horizontal. There's a wee bit of twist to that. So what can you do, like? What can you do? It's on the batten, it's on the wall, and the wall's crooked, so it's making that a bit crooked. So I think I might just cut the tabletop for this now. I got nice plywood for that. This is going to be the finished surface. But ideally, I want it a bit bigger. I could probably still make it a bit bigger than that. I will see. I am 100% here just experimenting. That's going to be the plywood top. Plywood's a lot lighter than this. Just hope the heat doesn't warp it. But if I do my piano lid type of thing, that will strengthen up that. But as far as the hinges go, because this bracket here, this bracket should be in front of that board. It's not in front. And if I had the lid here level, which I tried, it bangs it, and it's just not enough to push it back. So if these hinges here, if I was to put that hinge on like that, that mechanism's still too far back for that hinge. If I put the hinge on like that, you see how the top of the unit only sticks from here to here back, and that's still not going to work with that mechanism over there. The only thing I can come up with is if I put the hinge behind. Now you see how the lid will go on top of the hinge. I'm doing it the opposite way around. The lid goes on top, and then when it puts it right back, you should just about do it. But I can't put the screws on from that side. So what I'm going to do now, I'm marking where the screws go from this side, because it'll be the same. I have the markings on there now. I'm going to drill the holes, and then I'm going to use these wee bolts to bolt it on. So I put the bolts on from that side and wee nuts on this side. I'll do that with the two hinges. That is not level there, that's wiping back. So if I get away with two hinges, all the better. They're very light and cheap. The whole idea is to keep this lid light, so when that mechanism's pushing up. Ideally I was going to do a separate door here and do the end separate, but I'm just putting these hinges on now because that's the strongest part. And maybe I could even put a wee shelf in there, you know, a wee cubby hole, rather than a big empty. See, it might become an umbrella stand. Umbrella. I don't have an umbrella, but sure, if I got an umbrella stand, I can always get an umbrella. But I'm taking this board off the front again now. I'm going to cut this down 3 inches, that top piece, and we'll see if that's low enough then to see the TV. And if it is, I'll experiment with a bit of cut off to see if that would lift up like a piano lid without catching this. And if it does, then I'll do the same here. I'll cut that down 3 inches, cut it out, and attach that on to the lid so she opens up as one piece. It's going to make it a bit awkward now as far as covering the wall goes, but maybe I'll just get away by putting stain on that rather than wallpaper or second carpet tiles. Now I thought I might do a big foil to reflect the heat, but if part of that's going to be the lid, I might get away with colour stain. The thing about colour stains, you don't know what colour they're going to come into. You put it on the wood, you can have a nice green colour, a nice yellow colour, put it in the wood, it's shite like. You just don't know. Every piece of wood is a different colour with stain. So I'm going to draw this now. I've nothing to lose here now because this is not working out. If this doesn't work out, one other thing to do then is to buy a 50-inch TV. They're not much smaller, you know. So I'd rather try and stick to 65. And if I do get a smaller TV, I'll cut it down lower. I should still cut it down lower yet, but I'm not going to bother cutting it down lower to see if this works. If this works, I don't have to cut it down any lower. If the piano hinge it works. Here's my idea now about cutting a bit out the bottom. By cutting a bit out the bottom now, I'll see the full screen. Dead on there, you see. But the thing is now, I have 2 layers of wood. I'm experimenting with this inside one. Now the thing is now to get this lid to open. Because I've cut this bit out, this has to be attached on the lid like a piano. So that's enough to cut off another 2.5 inches. Oh, I've got the wrong control. I'm trying to wee remote control on here so I don't lose it until every time the room's finished. I had it in my pocket, couldn't find it, it was in my pocket. So I'm going to temporarily glue this lid on to these hinges with a hot glue gun. And say if I put down this front bit, I don't want to have screws showing. I'll do it with panel pins. So it had to be glued with wood glue and panel pins. But to see if the idea works. Worst came to worst, I could lift it back by hand. But I don't want to be doing that. I'd be elderly and not able to get in my bed. So I want to be able to do it with remote control. So there's my wee off cut now. And I labelled A there. A is a very popular letter. So that's the off cut from there now, you see. So when I put the lid on now, although this bit won't be used, this bit can stay off. I'll be cutting it out of this section and that bit will be used. So if it works this way, it'll definitely work that way. So I'll use the hot glue gun now as a temporary thing, but I think I'm going to have to make a wedge for here, get that to work. But we'll see. We'll get the lid on now to see what happens. Hot glue gun. My idea is not going to work. The amount of work I'll put into that, and it ain't working. I haven't fully given up yet. The next thing now would be to lower the whole thing down. We see what happens now. I have cut out the 2 inches there. 2.5 inches I've cut out. 2 or 2.5 inches I've cut out. And the idea being that would be attached on like a piano lid. Now the plywood's very floppy as it is, but had that been screwed on, it would be stiff. But when I go to put it up, the bracket is much further behind than what the actual TV is. I suppose the whole idea is it doesn't touch your TV. So in theory it opens up, but you see where it stops there now. And that's where I would need my shim, because if I stop it there, I'm going to have a bit of wood sticking down here to fill that gap up, which will be this bit. It ain't going to fit. But the thing is now, what does give me, it gives me the maximum size. So that's the inner piece. I'll cut the outer piece, whatever size that allows there. Now the only other problem I can see with that is once the TV goes back down again, it ain't going to shut itself, because if it sits there, it'll shut itself. But if it pushes back far enough to get past the lip, it ain't going to close itself. I can't put no mechanism here because the electric blind has to come down. It's just a pity, like it's I've been trying my best to keep the bracket back as far as possible. Had the bracket been forward another couple of inches, at the end of the day, the bracket's too small for the TV. It's a 55-inch TV. If it had been a 50-inch TV, it would work. But I didn't realise it was so tight, the measurements. If I had known to make that the exact size of the bracket, exact height of the TV from the start, but you don't know that until you hang the TV on. You think they would have the bracket going 10% higher on what it needs to go. So this outer bit has to go on now. I'll measure that. I'll say it's probably an inch. I'll cut an inch of that and see if the TV shows. We're an inch off. Put it up the top again to see how much is short. It's worth the hassle, do you reckon? But see, the thing is, I have to hide this pipe in the middle of my bedroom. That's what started the whole idea off. So that is there now. You wouldn't want it The only thing I was looking at was the gap itself. If everything was painted black behind, maybe you get away with the gap, you know. Nothing else, all else fails. So I'm going to try now by cutting this 1 inch less than I did the last time. That was 2.5 inches. So if I make up 1.5 inches cut off, 1.5 inches should fit behind. It's all guesswork, like 1.5 inches, but it sort of needs it to stiffen up that plywood top. And even when I'm finished, I could still cut an inch off the whole lot if I want to, lower the whole thing. It's a lot of work to lower an inch now that it's built. But if I was doing it again, I would have it an inch lower. Only other thing I can do, if I put a wee chain on here, and a wee pulley and a weight, the weight will pull it down after. So what I would need to do is a wee wire from there onto a hook here, and maybe that would pull it down. But like old blinds used to do, big old windows, sash windows you would have done. Don't know if it'll work or not, I could try that. But I have to cut this piece now anyway. Either way, if I got a smaller TV, I would just cut the whole lot lower anyway. Just going back 2 days work instead of 1. Didn't think about a full day doing this. If worst came to the worst, could you look at a hole like that? I reckon you could, you know, if worst came to the worst. If it was a choice, now the next hole would be an inch smaller. If it was a choice, if I was painted black behind, if it was a choice between looking at a gap and having a big TV, or having no gap and having a small TV, I think I'd prefer the big gap. I just thought of another idea. The problem I have, this is pushing the lid up and pushing it back. I can afford, if I don't take it the full way, if I make it 4 centimeters and leave out that wee middle bit, so just be a wee square hole in the middle, missed 4 centimeters, then that lid will go up and close back down by itself. That might be the way to go. 4 centimeters. If I take that 4 centimeters off there, that would just about do it, you know. Just about do it. 4 centimeters. So I'll cut 4 centimeters now for this one. Now this is as far as I've got. I'll probably end this tonight. This is only on temporary. That's my factory edge. So when I cut it, I'll be cutting off that edge. I have to get the end panel all put on. The hinges have to be cut to size. But this is as far as I've got. You see now, like it's like a piano. You know where the front of the piano thing works. Now, I'll put it up here. If I cut out this middle bit here, she'll open and close again. But I'm going to have a wee square hole, which I think you're not going to notice much. Simplify things, but I'll wait till it's finished. But so go on ahead now and she'll open up with that. You see this bracket now hits it and pushes it on back. Now I can't pull forward again, you see. So all I need is to cut out enough for this shaft here. If I cut enough down for that shaft and just let it sit forward that wee bit, then she'll close down again. But she's up high enough now for me to see the whole TV. When I'm in my bed I can see the whole TV, like there's nothing hid, and that's a 55-inch TV, which is better than, so although it took me, you can say it took another half a day, like it's still handier than going down and buying another TV. I said I need to buy a TV for my living room now, but I always wanted an OLED TV, and there's always a problem with OLED. See the way the lights shine in from outside now in my eyes, and then the OLED TVs aren't as bright. They're okay at night time, but at night time I'm using the projector. So that's a QLED TV. I think I'm going to stick with QLED. So I took ages looking for an OLED, and then I not bother. You pay a lot more money, you get burn on, and you need to have a dark room. So there's my TV going now, boys. Internet connection mightn't be the best down here, so when I get this going proper, I'm running the Ethernet cables. I want full speed, like. Up and going now, so I think that's a success. I can lie in the bed and watch TV tonight. Only other thing now is the projector. I have to make wee metal clips for the projector. So I'll put those back down again. The only thing is you can't turn the TV off. The TV, and saying that, that's a smart TV. I should be able to say to Alexa, switch off TV, in which case it'll work with Wi-Fi. But it works with remote controls. I have to point the control at it. So I need to get set up for Alexa. So this won't close herself now, like, because it's back the whole way. I think it'd annoy me not closing. So I'm going to cut out that wee middle bit of wood. And so when I do it proper, then I'm going to glue that onto the top. But I won't be doing that to get this end panel on. Once she sits there, she'll close herself again. So that's neat enough there. And by the time I get the big radiator in front and a wee radiator shelf, you wouldn't pay a heat. I want to check this projector blind going behind. I say I might have to make wee metal bracket things. If I make wee metal brackets, they have to be screwed onto the top of this, so when it opens, it works for along for the lid. It's just complicated. I need to plug it in. Stuff in the windowsill too, and I need to keep my windowsill on tight. I did that in the old bedroom. I had the windowsill on tight. So I seen a blind there on the internet. The sister says they do them up in Lisbon or somewhere. It works the same as a caravan. So I'm going to get one of them blinds for the window and not bother putting curtains on. And even if the blind's a few £100, by the time I buy curtain reels and all the rest, it'll just be as handy. Let's see how well she goes in here now. Like I say, I think I'm going to need just a wee metal bracket in each corner to guide her. There's a wee bit of wood in the back of that can be carved off, but just about. So if I get that wee bit of metal on, she should be a wee dream there, boys. But I say, normally if I watch it another way, I wouldn't want a big black bit at the top. Depends what height you want your picture. You don't necessarily want to be watching it all the way up at the very high top of your room, like. So that's probably where I'll watch the projector there. Oh, I'm gonna get the projector going here. So there's the projector going now. So the only thing about the projector is the screen. My projector's sitting way out here in temporary. Whenever it's fitted properly, it's going to sit closer to the wall. I might even higher it up a bit. So she'll fold the screen up then, whenever I get it further back. So there you are now. I have a choice of a TV or a projector. And the whole idea of the projector was at night time. I want my backyard lit up. So I'm lying in my bed, watching a movie. It'll be all dark in here, but you can still see outside, like. Oh, but wee plants and all blowing in the wind. That's all going to be.
There's water taps on the wee allotments over there.
So there you are now. I think that's a good job there. I must say about getting the rest of that water finished as well. Need to cement the floor. Is that not the way to go there, boys? I'm not sure what to do at the top of that yet. Where to bring that down the same height as the doorway. If I do, that wee bit of roof in there is going to be lowered. Do a wee bit fancy. There'll be a light put on there where it's on switch, a light on there where it's on switch. And then I'm going to do something special with this roof here. So that projector blind will be boxed in. But it has to be so I can still get at it. That's why I was debating today about curtains or not. So depending on what I do with curtains. But if I'm going to go with these blinds that you get for caravans, but they're meant for houses, if I can get them, even if it's £400 or £500, it'd be worth it not to have curtains. Even if I had to put a curtain over the door, I don't want to put curtains behind the screen, because you see now, if I had curtains hanging each side of there, it'll be blocking my screen, like. When that screen's full size, I have no room for curtains, like. And this wall here, that'll be boxed in when it's finished. So that wall's going to be boxed in there, so no room for curtains. I think that's it for today now. I need to get wee Luna for a walk a wee thing. Sister's back today, so Luna's down now with my sister. So I'll get her for a wee walk.